I've been doing carpentry for close to 28 years now. It was the first job I could find, and it was in framing. It was cold that winter. I was working on a house and some people was doing the cabinets in the home, and he says, "You ever thought about cabinetry?" And I says, "Yeah, that's a good thought right now because it's 75, 80 degrees in here and 20 below outside." When I told my boss that I was going to try cabinetry, he said I'd never make it, but I says, "Well, I'm going to give her a try." And been in it ever since. It's just rewarding to be able to pull raw materials together and being able to step away from the finished product and say, I did that. In February of '03 when I was diagnosed, and it was just, I remember for a few days it looked like half the eye was, if you're swimming, and half the eye was underwater, and that was the first signs I ever noticed. The doctor looked at me, he told me, he says I had a tumor and it was elevated and growing. And I says, "You're starting to scare me." I says, "That almost sounds like cancer." And he says, "I'm not qualified to make that diagnosis." And so he says, "But I want you to a specialist within an hour." And I says, "No, I'll wait till my wife's," she was doing school lunch, and I says, "She'll be off here in a little bit and I'll go when I have my wife." And,
you know, you always hear people in cancer dying, you know. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to be on my own with my kids. What am I going to do? School ain't going to pay for nothing. Went
down, and that doctor basically looked at me and says, "You got melanoma cancer and you can either treat it or die. What are you going to do?"
We both thought, you know, oh my gosh, we're going to lose our house, we're going to lose this, we're going to lose that. You know, I think, you know, that's not important. If we lose the house, we can always get another one somewhere else, and you know, you make home anywhere.
He says, "You'll be in San Francisco by," actually he gave me a choice. I could be in Salt Lake or I could be in San Francisco, and we decided for San Francisco, and he says, "You'll be there Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning." And I remember telling him, I says, "No, wait a minute." I says, "A guy gets a night to think about this, or a day to think about it," and he says, "I'll have my answer by 8 o'clock in the morning." I says, "Okay," so I get the night to think about it. But it was by 8 o'clock Friday morning, we was in San Francisco, and that's when the ride begun. My brothers and stuff says, "Boy, if you lose the vision in your eye, you'll have to find a different occupation." And I used to tell them, I says, "No, I just need to change the name of the shop." And they says, "Well, what are you going to change the name of the shop to?" I says, "Patch Cabinetry." Probably the person that's helped me the most is my wife. She's I don't know if there's words that can explain you're gonna get me emotional, but just the support and knowing that she was there, and the family has been likewise. They've been very supportive, and it's never been a pity party type of support. It's just been support.
If you have to go to San Francisco, you go to San Francisco. No matter what you face or stuff like that, just keep enduring.
A lot of my business goals changed at that point. Always wanted to be big and have a big shop and a lot of go after it. And then after the diagnosis and after the treatments and stuff, they just didn't matter anymore. It was it was family, and let's just concentrate about family, and we was making a living, and so we was happy. It's a pretty traumatic decision to say, yeah, let's cut it out, but I was in so much pain that I was starting to withdraw from the family and stuff, and I just decided that was, the price was just too high not to do it, so we went ahead. The greatest lesson I've learned is you have a choice. You can either be happy or you can be miserable. But that is a choice that you have, and I don't care what your circumstances are. And if you look around, you'll see it. You'll see people that choose to be miserable, and people that horrific circumstances but are just as happy and really full of life. With that being said, do I think I'm special? No, it's just a lesson that I think I've learned, and I'm happy I made the choice that I would rather be happy and have people want to be around you than to be miserable and go like, man, I need to get away from this guy. So I'm just grateful for that choice that I made, I guess.